In a post-apocalyptic world, two former baseball players aimlessly wander the desolate back roads of New England to get away from the zombie-infested cities. However, their contrasting personalities soon compromise their safety. United by their former professions, a pair of ball-player survivors travel side by side to scavenge for supplies from abandoned houses and fend off the undead. Ben, who has quickly adapted to a lawless world, teaches his companion, Mickey, to kill a zombie, but the latter struggles to do so. While resting in the middle of the forest, Mickey cheers in surprise after winning $1,000 in a scratch lottery ticket. Since there's no way to get the prize money anyway, Ben persuades him to play catch instead of holding on to the useless winning ticket. Although hesitant at first, Mickey gets up and practices his pitch with his friend, reliving their love for baseball. Soon after, the two ball players stumble upon a bunch of canoes and find a lakeside cabin. Weapon in hand, Ben cautiously checks the house for any impending danger, but eventually finds it empty. Having secured their temporary stop, Ben fishes in the lake and invites his friend to learn the skill as well. However, Mickey refuses to join him and exasperatedly throws out their cans of sardines, complaining that all they've been eating is fish. Instead, Ben asks his irate friend to make a fire, so the impatient man walks out with his CD player. The following day, Mickey finds zombies' lifeless bodies outside the cabin, which were finished off by his friend. He's frustrated to know they were followed by the undead, even out in the woods, unlike what Ben said. Smugly, the lawless man assures there are fewer zombies in the backwoods compared to other places. When the duo finds a car, Ben opens the door cautiously and shoots the zombie that crawled out of it. While enduring the foul-smelling vehicle, he starts the vehicle and begins their journey along the roads of Connecticut. One day, Mickey discovers that the car has a sunroof. He then remembers the girl he used to date back in Pittsfield. With no destination in mind, the two drifters decide to check out her house. However, they find it deserted, implying that Mickey's ex-girlfriend is probably dead. Sentimental about the old days, Mickey takes the woman's CD from her room. He sniffs her underwear from her dresser, craving a woman after months of isolation due to the apocalypse. Moreover, he takes her perfume and picture to remember her by. Meanwhile, Ben scavenges the garage for supplies and finds a pair of walkie-talkies. As the two use the toothbrushes left in the abandoned house, Ben enthusiastically shows his partner the wide cargo space of their car. After stealing the dead woman's blankets, the pair spend some time on the balcony. Reading Mickey's thoughts, Ben adamantly refuses to stay in the house. He insists on traversing the road aimlessly, believing they'd only survive by being constantly on the move. When Mickey disagrees, his contentious friend brings up their dreadful past of being trapped in a house for 3 months. Back then, Ben had to kill a dog so they could have something to eat, so he refuses to repeat the same mistake again. Winning the argument, the duo have dinner in the forest as the sullen man drowns himself in his headphones. Soon after, Ben and Mickey continue their aimless journey, passing by a cattle field. Headphones in, Mickey inserts batteries into the pair of walkie-talkies that Ben found in his ex's house. Ben startles him as he's too engrossed in music, saying his absent-mindedness might put them in danger. Then, Mickey throws a walkie-talkie to his friend and tests its range as Ben walks farther from him. Suddenly, the device intercepts a transmission line where they hear a friendly conversation between two survivors, Frank and Annie. They learn that the two strangers belong to a group called Orchard, which seems to be preparing for a birthday celebration. Eager to reconnect with other survivors, Mickey contacts the two strangers until Frank responds. The desperate man explains their aimless situation on the roads of Connecticut and asks to join them. But the man on the other line claims they're out of space and tells him to stay off their channel. Adamant to refuse the unwelcomed ballplayers, Frank warns Annie not to talk to them and drops the channel. When Mickey begs the strangers, no one responds, leaving him hopeless and frustrated. On the other hand, Ben remains unbothered, so the defeated ballplayer lashes out at him for his indifference and hunter-gatherer lifestyle. However, Ben only laughs at his friend's rants, but encourages him to find the other survivors to ease his mind. For the next few days, Mickey relentlessly contacts Annie through the device to no avail. Then, his friend realizes that he's only asking for the woman. Soon, Mickey checks out abandoned apartments in desperate search for the orchard. Suddenly, he opens a door filled with the undead, so Ben exits the car to finish them off while arguing with his frustrated partner. Equally enraged, Ben urges his friend to kill the zombie himself and triggers him using his mother and brother's death. Still, Mickey refuses to do his friend's murderous bidding until Ben has no choice but to finish it off with his bat. One day, while Mickey sleeps in the car and Ben bathes in a nearby waterfall, a female zombie approaches the vehicle. Although alarmed by the vicious creature, Mickey contemplates contacting his friend through the walkie-talkie. With a window shielding him from the zombie, the repressed man urgently removes his trousers and pleasures himself while staring at the female. Before he can finish, Ben shoots the creature dead, disrupting Mickey's fantasies while laughing at him. Soon after, the ball players stumble upon an empty lodge, despondently pondering about its lifeless hull. As the duo travel further, they cautiously enter another deserted house where Mickey finds a bedroom. He walks up to his friend and declares they will stay the night, desperate to live like a real human again. This time, Ben relents to his friend's wishes. While Mickey unpacks his stuff, he can't seem to find his headphones. Apparently, Ben is using them while fixing a bow outside, promising to return it tomorrow since he wants his friend to be alert while they spend the night in the house. Moreover, Ben argues that Mickey is constantly putting their life at risk for always wearing his headphones, saying he should learn to face their harsh reality. Spiteful, Mickey ignores his partner, who has been admiring the mural in the living room. Before going to sleep, he contacts Annie over the walkie-talkie, feeling defeated by her unresponsiveness. Unexpectedly, the woman responds and tells the ball player to stop contacting her group or else she'll be deserted, saying the orchard is unlike what he believes it is. Nevertheless, Mickey thinks anything is better than his current situation, sharing that he barely even knew his partner before the apocalypse. However, Annie refuses to listen to his sappy story and tells him to change the channel, leaving the sentimental man dumbfounded. That night, Ben drinks alcohol and dances with his friend's music player in the living room. Suddenly, he hears a noise and the front door creaking open, so he stops fooling around and takes care of it. When morning comes, the restless man leaves his bat beside his sleeping friend. He then greets the zombie he tied up outside the house last night and drags it over to the house. To force his friend to learn how to kill, Ben shouts to wake Mickey up as he pushes the gagged creature inside the bedroom. He pulls on the door to lock his panicking friend, whom he hears swinging the bat and wailing in fright. After the struggling noise stops, Ben opens the door and discovers Mickey has successfully made his first kill amidst the bloody mess. Seething in anger, the distressed man attacks him and storms out of the house. As Ben follows his friend into the woods, Mickey breaks down in tears, revealing about his failed conversation with Annie. Indifferent from his partner's misery, Ben tells him to wash up before they return to the road. When Mickey is still downcast from being rejected by Annie, Ben tries cheering him up as they play catch. Not long after, the sentimental ball player actively joins his friend's pastime instead of being isolated with his headphones. Soon, the duo's bond grows as Mickey gets over his slump and plays around on an apple farm. One day, the pair walk up to an abandoned vehicle on the road to steal some fuel for their car. Mickey notices that the hood is hot, implying that someone has recently used it, but no one shows up. Realizing the abandoned vehicle has been gassed out, Ben suddenly finds its driver, Jerry, holding Mickey hostage at knife point. The stranger demands their car keys in exchange for their freedom, so Ben cautiously aims his gun in retaliation. As if being chased, Jerry says he needs to go to Arizona. Ben believes the stranger doesn't have the guts to harm someone, so he taunts him further, thinking that he has a family to return to. In a rush, Jerry reveals he was betrayed by a group of survivors who promised to give him supplies so he can reunite with his family in Arizona. When Ben probes further, the distressed stranger threatens to gouge Mickey's eye. Ben tells Jerry that the car keys are left in the ignition and tries bargaining with him. He then throws the gun away, so the vicious man releases Mickey and hops in the car. Learning he's been tricked, Jerry runs out into the field, but Ben shoots him down as he tries to escape. Mickey is appalled seeing his friend kill a person, so Ben argues that the man previously threatened to hurt him. Suddenly, their squabbling is cut short when they see an approaching vehicle. Ben raises his gun in alarm when the truck stops a few meters away from them. Without stepping out, a woman's voice claims they'll only retrieve their stolen car and be on their way. When the ball player permits, the woman and her companion exit their truck, but Ben remains cautious because of the man carrying a shotgun. The female survivor introduces her friend, Egghead, and tells him to put the weapon away. While Egghead refuels the car, the woman asks the duo about the runaway driver. Ben claims Jerry was bitten and had to be put down in the field. Suspiciously, the woman asks if the dead man told the ball players where he got the car. Ben answers truthfully despite knowing that they're the ones after Jerry. The female survivor claims the deserter was a thief and tells Ben he did the right thing. When both pairs are about to go their separate ways, Mickey suddenly recognizes the woman's voice from the walkie-talkie and calls her Annie. Thinking the ball players are searching for the orchard, the infuriated woman immediately shoots Ben's leg to immobilize him. However, Mickey denies her accusations, saying they weren't searching for her group. Regardless, Annie demands for their keys. Left with no choice, Ben hands Egghead their car keys. Then Annie throws it into the open field to keep the ball players from following them as they leave. As night falls, Mickey still searches the grassy field for their keys, but the darkness makes it harder for him to find them. Ben says they will continue looking for it in the morning while clutching his wounded leg. As the two helpless ball players spend the night in the car, Mickey suddenly hears a noise and wakes Ben. When he turns the headlights on, they see a horde of zombies ahead, approaching their vehicle. Panicking, Mickey exits the car to escape, but since his wounded friend can't follow, he returns inside and shuts the light. The following day, the ball players are trapped inside the car as the horde of zombies surrounds them. Mickey tries to contain his emotions, but ends up crying at their hopeless situation. Moments later, Ben opens the sunroof and fires at some of the undead. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to minimize the flock and closes it again. Desperately, Mickey tells his friend to hotwire the car so they can escape, but Ben refuses to risk messing up the vehicle's circuitry. Exasperated, the wounded man starts blaming their situation on Mickey, whose persistence to join Annie led to their current misery. Ignoring his friend, Mickey suggests that they should keep quiet until the horde goes away. But Ben claims it won't happen, referencing the past when they were stuck in a similar situation. So, the wounded man worries about their survival, wondering how long the remaining water jugs will last them. While wasting their time smoking, Mickey suggests repeating what they did when they were trapped in a house at Pittsfield. However, his friend doesn't think the idea will work in a cramped space. One night, Mickey feels his heart palpitating, but he relieves himself as soon as he puts his headphones in. Unnerved by the lifeless faces constantly staring at them from outside, Mickey covers the windows with their blankets. Ben also starts saving the juices from the canned goods into his empty water jug, hoping they won't need to save up their urine to keep them hydrated. Fed up with the zombies' growls, Ben thrashes in frustration, so Mickey uses his words against him to calm him down. One day, Ben suggests downing an alcohol bottle to celebrate their last night on Earth. His friend initially hesitates, but soon, the intoxicated duo fools around in the car while making fun of their situation. The following day, Ben despondently urges his partner to search for the car keys outside and escape on his own if he can't. However, Mickey refuses to leave his friend behind, swearing that he'll succeed. Afterward, Mickey climbs outside through the sunroof, leaving Ben alone. Despite telling his friend to escape without him, the lonely man furiously wishes for him to return. Not long after, Mickey knocks on the sunroof, so the hopeful man lets him in, thinking he was able to retrieve the keys. Unfortunately, Ben sees that his friend is bitten on the hand by a zombie, which endangers them both. Although distraught, Ben snatches his gun and holds his friend at gunpoint, ordering him to exit the car. However, Mickey frantically begs for his life as the infection manifests in his body. Left with no choice, Ben ultimately shoots his friend, screaming in agony upon delivering Mickey's death. Soon, the traumatized ball player prepares to escape the car while trying to survive with his remaining supplies. He contacts Annie through the walkie-talkie, telling her about their devastating escape from a 3-month entrapment in a house when the apocalypse began. Ben attempts to flee the same way, swearing to put a bullet into Annie's head if he succeeds. He destroys his baseball and untangles it until he reaches the pill at the center, signaling the start of his getaway. When he removes the drapes and opens the trunk, the surviving ball player braces himself for what is yet to come. Soon, with a wounded leg, a vengeful Ben walks down the road after successfully leaving the car while the horde of the undead follows him behind.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.